You know what's better than being rich? Being stupid rich and blowing insane amounts of cash on the craziest stuff imaginable. Let's start with billionaire hedge fund manager Steve Cohen and his $12 million preserved shark. Yeah, you heard that right. This dude spent enough to buy a mansion just to own a 14-foot tiger shark floating in a giant tank of formaldehyde. Most folks settle for a simple fish tank, but not Cohen. He needs the most extreme aquatic decor money can buy. But that's just an appetizer for the main course of billionaire insanity. Let me introduce you to Ken Griffin, the hedge fund billionaire who dropped a cool $500 million on a pair of paintings, one by Willem de Kooning and the other by Jackson Pollock. For the price this art aficionado paid for some smeared colors on canvas, you could literally buy a private island nation. The same Ken Griffin outbid everyone for an $8 million ticket to space on Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin, only to get cold feet and gift it away. Smart move after that OceanGate sub imploded almost instantly, likely because its genius designers used a freaking video game controller to steer the death trap. R.I.P. to billionaire adventurer Hamish Harding, who perished on that voyage after paying $250,000 just to see the Titanic wreckage up close. Billionaires will really pay millions for just about anything, huh? Like in 2011, when businessman William Koch spent a staggering $2.3 million on a 130-year-old photo of Billy the Kid. Or when Microsoft's Bill Gates dropped $30.8 million on a notebook filled with Leonardo da Vinci's coded writings and doodles, the most ever paid for a manuscript. And don't forget the Miami couple Billy and Beatrice Cox, who purchased that infamous banana duct tape to a wall only for someone to eat the so-called art days later. Or how about Sheikh Hamad of the United Arab Emirates, who carved his name across one of his islands in letters so colossal that they were visible from space? Just imagine dropping $22 million to etch Hamad into the face of nature. Waves washed away His Highness' name a couple of years later, and that was $22 million down the ultra-rich drain. Speaking of private islands, get a load of the Sultan of Brunei's $5 billion car collection. Haji Hassan al-Bolkiah rules over a country smaller than Delaware, yet owns 7,000 of the rarest, finest cars on the planet. We're talking 21 Lambos, 452 Ferraris, and 604 Rolls-Royces. Imagine, His Highness, who is the longest reigning monarch, accounted for almost half of all Rolls-Royces sold in the 1990s. The same Sultan blew over $43,000 on a single haircut. So in 2009, the Sultan paid $25,358 just to get his hair lined up. But wait, there's more. See, this was during that horrific swine flu outbreak, and the Sultan didn't want his premium barber to mingle with the great unwashed. So what did he do? Dropped an extra $18,621 on a private luxury jet cabin just to fly that hair artist in. How about Joselyn Wildenstein, who blew $2.5 billion from her divorce settlement on excessive plastic surgeries and body modifications to look like a literal Catwoman? This so-called Catwoman was flat broke by age 77 after surgically altering herself into a feline fever dream. You know what gets billionaires out of bed in the morning? Figuring out new and insanely stupid ways to blow their fortunes. We're talking next-level spending, like Saudi Prince Al-Walid bin Talal hiring little people as literal jesters and holding dwarf-throwing contests. Yep, it's like the Olympic weight throw, but instead of metal balls, it's human beings getting yeeted across the lawn. This guy paid the little folks $1 million a year to act as his entertainment. One time, His Highness couldn't decide between an Airbus or Boeing private jet, so he made two of his little jester buddies say the jet names. He wanted to buy whichever sounded funnier to his mind. It was the Airbus, in case you were curious. He ended up spending at least $500 million on his private Airbus A380 Super Jumbo jet with an onboard horse stable and 2 Rolls-Royce supercars. How about the time Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich dropped $600 million on the world's largest super yacht, the Eclipse? This monstrosity comes loaded with 2 helicopter pads, a submarine, and a swimming pool, and let's not forget the added bonus of built-in missile defenses. Talk about being prepared for anything, from unexpected visitors to surprise attacks, this place has got it all covered. Or blowing hundreds of millions on a replica of the freaking Titanic. That's exactly what Aussie business mogul Clive Palmer did, commissioning an exact rebuild of that infamous ship for $567 million. Because, obviously, what the world needs is another Titanic. This time with hopefully enough lifeboats. It's a lot more fun to do the Titanic than it is to sit at home and count my money, Palmer recently told local media. With nearly $500 million rolling in from mining royalties every year, who can blame him? For Palmer, it's not about making money, it's about finding the most insane ways to spend it. Talk about peak billionaire excess. India's richest man, Mukesh Ambani, blew $2.9 billion from his oil empire fortune to construct Antilia, a 27-floor vertical palace in Mumbai with 600 staff to maintain this 400,000 square foot monstrosity. Subtlety ain't Ambani's forte. The dude named his urban castle after a mythical island, an Arabian Nights-esque mega home to flaunt that petro wealth and one-up other tycoons. When your pockets are that deep, no home is excessive enough. At least Jared Isaacsman's $55 million space beer brewing stunt on SpaceX helped raise over $200 million for St. Jude's, after Elon Musk chipped in $50 million. Small win, I guess. Better than Hong Kong's late Cecil Chow, who offered $65 million to any man who could turn his lesbian daughter straight, nearly doubling it to $120 million when that failed spectacularly. Our favorite bald billionaire, Jeff Bezos, has decided to construct the world's largest, most obnoxious wind-up toy, a $42 million 10,000-year clock. A 500-foot metal monolith running on solar power to talk once a year and carefully monitor, well, time, for the next 10 millennia, apparently to symbolize long-term thinking. Really, there's no limit to the ridiculous splurges when you're hilariously rich. Just look at Michael Bloomberg wasting over $1 billion on a 3-month presidential campaign in 2014 to 2015, which flamed out so dramatically after getting mercilessly roasted by the other less rich, less insane candidates. Anyway, folks, you get the picture. Lord knows these out-of-touch fat cats will continue one-upping each other with more ludicrous purchases. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments what's the dumbest way you'd spend billions if you had that much pocket change to waste. Until next time, stay wealthy in mind, if not in your bank account.